Hello all of you golfers out there. Again, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Happy Gilmore 2. Happy Gilmore 2 is a 2025 comedy directed by Kyle Newacek. Kyle has directed Murder Mystery before, also by Adam Sandler. So it's kind of in the same comedy area. I'm happy. This is a sequel to the 1996 Happy Gilmore 1, which is also comedy. With such a big time gap, let's see what has changed. The cast that remained the same is Adam Sandler, Julie Brown, Christopher McDonald. Adam Sandler, a household name, he's in a bunch of comedies like Grown Ups, Click, 50 First Dates, Uncut Gems, that's a cool one, and Hotel Transylvania. Julie Brown, I know her from Modern Family, she's also in comedy. And Christopher McDonald is from a superhero movie and a voice in Iron Giant. New to the cast that wasn't in number 1 that is now in number 2. Bad Bunny, Haley Joel Osment, and Ben Stiller. Bad Bunny is from Bullet Train. Link in the description, I've done a review on that. Fast 9. Haley Joel Osment is from Sixth Sense and Forrest Gump. Ben Stiller is in the first movie but has a really small role, but I'm going to mention him here as well. He's in Zoolander, Night at the Museum, and he voices Alex from Madagascar. Sticking on the topic of the cast, there are many cameos. Professional golfers, professional basketball players, sportscasters, rappers, musicians, influencers, and Guy Fieri, because he doesn't fit in any of the categories, so I thought it would just be funny that he's by himself. But lots and lots of people. I'll bring this up again later as to why this is a bad thing for the movie. And last but not least, Adam Sandler also brought his real daughters to play Happy Gilmore's daughters in the movie, which I think is actually pretty cool. So, what is this movie about? We are caught up on the time between the original movie and today. So it looks like the time in real life also passed in the movie. This is a great way to explain the time gap. I actually like that. Happy chalked up all of the golfing success in his life to dumb luck. He and Virginia ended up getting married and have 5 kids, and then Happy killed her with a golf ball by accident. Classic Happy Gilmore. Then follows a downward spiral of drinking and losing everything in the span of a few months. Back to a normal job, scraping by month to month with the help of his children who are now adults with jobs, which is actually pretty wholesome. We also meet Frank Manatee, a guy who wants to revolutionize golf. Pause. The names in this franchise are ridiculous. Happy, Shooter, Manatee, DJ Oh My Gosh, which is later. Anyway, Frank is threatening traditional golf by trying to introduce a new modern spin on golf. Therefore, he's our villain, I guess. Happy goes with some young golfers and tries golfing again after 10 years. After a montage of failed shots, hurting himself, and drinking, he ends up hitting one actual Happy Gilmore shot. Awesome, he still got it, he's back at it. Right? Nope, he drives one golf cart into the other, they blow up, he gets arrested, he gets charged with vandalism and driving under the influence, and gets fired from his job. Shit. Anyway, we're caught up with Shooter McGavin, the villain from the first movie, and he's in a mental hospital, haunted by Happy Gilmore and the events of the first movie. They show flashbacks to Happy Gilmore 1 here. This flashback thing is going to happen a lot throughout the movie, and I just want to mention that now because I'm going to bring it up again later. The AA meeting is ran by this guy, Ben Stiller dude, who was also in charge of Grandma and her retirement home in the previous movie. Same thing happened here. Training montage. Happy is determined to get better at golf. He does get better, and he gets so good that he hits his balls into other balls out of the sky in the shooting range. That is superhuman levels of strength and accuracy. Also, he never does anything close to how awesome that is ever again. So eventually, Frank breaks Shooter out of the mental hospital. Villain team up. I like it. Happy plays off against some other golfers, and we meet that one blonde kid who was Happy's caddy in the first movie. That is such a wild callback and it seems so random, but he's now a golfer and he's out for revenge for Happy doing that thing one time in the first movie. Meanwhile, some waiter in a nearby restaurant gets fired. That very awkward scene is only there so Happy can hire him as his caddy, just like in the first movie when he gives that homeless guy the caddy job. Cool, so now he's playing, and Happy Places, not Happy's Places, no, Happy Places as in good thoughts, are mentioned as a way to concentrate, long story. Happy's new happy place in this movie is way too on the nose and relatable. Not a big fan. Happy is amazing at golf now. Fair enough. I wanted to mention that there is disgusting CGI of a golfer choking a caddy, similar to the original. Why is it CGI? I really hate it. And if you're starting to see a pattern of things returning directly from Happy Gilmore 1 into 2, that's not your imagination. I'll bring that up again later. Happy plays worse because he plays on Mother's Day and he remembers that he murdered his wife. Cool. He ends up spiraling badly. He doesn't make it to the next tournament. He starts drinking on the course and makes a fool of himself on TV. Again. Anyway, Frank catches Shooter up on what is so special about this new golf thing, and we also learn what is so revolutionary. It turns out if you remove one ligament in the leg, you get more flexible, and the flexibility is what makes you hit harder, like Happy Gilmore. Basically, I'm not going to try and explain that. Well, Shooter doesn't like this at all. He wants out, and he goes to Happy for help. Okay, so remember Happy just making a fool of himself? Well, everyone forgives him for everything that happened at the tournament, and now he's through to the next round. I won't bother explaining why, because it's too stupid. There is a training montage for the golfers that made it through. It's one team of Happy Gilmore's golfers against Frank's new revolutionary golfing team. The training montage is also really lame. I won't get into it. So now the final event, Maxi Golf, the revolutionary spin-off to regular golf that Frank was developing this whole time. Maxi Golf is the craziest golfing thing you'll ever see. Obstacle courses, fire pits, dune buggies. I'm now so irritated watching this movie. Where have we gone wrong? As time goes on, one player from the Maxi team was surprised at one of the courses. It's your tournament. Why are you surprised at seeing anything? This doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to be your event. Why are you... I don't understand. Frank, being the villain, also changes the rules and starts rotating the entire course only on Happy shot, which is just, thanks for that. Anyway, Happy kicks their ass, obviously. So Maxi Golf ended up going under. Happy continues golfing because now he loves it again. And Happy sends his daughter overseas to pursue her dream of ballet, which is what he wanted from the beginning. Long story, happily ever after, the end. So first things first, the most obvious thing, Happy Gilmore 2 is not as funny as the first movie. You can see that they're trying to put in jokes, but none of them really land properly. Maybe it's just me. The first one was funny to me. The writing is okay. It just doesn't hit as well. Like Happy doing this all for his grandma is much more impressive than, okay, my daughter wants to go do ballet, but I have an entire family that won't pay for it. It just works better with the first movie, okay? Also, just going to quickly mention that AA meeting was pretty bad. Alcoholics Anonymous wasn't even anonymous. Someone immediately shouted, "Oh, look, it's Happy Gilmore," then mocked him for being a rich celebrity. Isn't Alcoholics Anonymous supposed to be, just keep it to yourself? Don't judge? I don't know. They also tried very hard to modernize this movie. There are podcasts, new golfing technology, the texting bubbles that they put in at one point, all these big modern things. They also bring in a bunch of sporting celebrities, rappers, and Guy Fieri. So many cameos. Felt a bit awkward, okay, why are they all here? Because if it was just the game show host, or if it was just Guy Fieri, it just seems a bit much. There are some flashbacks, which are clips from the old movie. This gets us up to speed as to what happened if we haven't seen the first movie. However, it leans too much into the nostalgia, and that's the main problem with this movie. They reference conversations line by line. No matter how seemingly small the role, they bring many characters back. If it's not those specific characters, it's their children. The flashbacks I mentioned, which is an exact copy by the scene. The choking thing, so many jokes, copy-pasted line by line. You can tell they watched Happy Gilmore and they tried to recreate every single joke and slapped it into this movie. There are way too many callbacks. If this movie tried to be its own entity, it would have been a million times better. It just uses the first movie like a crutch in a way that I've never seen before. The closest example I could find was The Matrix 4. They leaned way too much into the first three and focused on planning a reboot rather than just making a new good Matrix movie. It might be a bit out there as an example, but it's the best I could think of on the spot. Don't worry, not all is doom and gloom. I do have some ideas as to what they should have done instead. I understand the flashbacks are there to catch the viewer up, and keep all the same characters. That's actually cool that you bring most of them back. But just write some original jokes, or if it's going to reference old jokes, play off of them or parody them. Don't put them in line by line. It's so obvious. Another suggestion is to leave out the crazy maxi golf because it just looks like an excuse to throw money at CGI, which they definitely did. I did like the enhanced golfers, like they remove that tendon to make them hit harder, make it maxi with the enhancements versus happy with the natural talent in a regular golf tournament. That's an idea, like genetically enhanced freaks versus natural grit and determination and talent, right? Other than that, the acting is fine, the soundtrack is fine. So with that being said, I give this movie a 6 out of 10. Most of the first movie is copy and pasted into this one. They tried to modernize the movie. They had a million cameos, and it wasn't very funny. The word I want to use is desperate. This comes from the trend of companies looking back and seeing what IPs they can remake or use as a sequel, no matter how old and how closed off the story is, they will just extend it. It's really disappointing because this actually could have been a really nice reboot and an extension with the characters, because the characters are actually pretty funny. I'd like to see what more they can do, but this is not how you do that. I mean, you can watch it and you'll still think it's funny. Like I said with the first review, if you like golfing and you like sports and you're into this kind of comedy, then you'll probably like it. Also, you need to like Adam Sandler because he's still Adam Sandler. Side rant. These movies revolve around golf, but it doesn't feel like I learned anything about golf though. I would have loved to learn a bit about the sport along the way, but that's what would have happened if golfers made a comedy and not if comedians made a golf movie, which I did look into a bit, and that's exactly what happened. I think if someone who played golf was there, then they would have added something about the rules, because I still don't know anything about golf. I know that you swing stuff, you know. Oh well, let's pray that they don't make a third movie, shall we? That is in my brain, and I'm going to use all of my mental powers to shoot into Adam Sandler's brain that the series is now over. Please. Anyway, that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.